very warm morning to each one of you gathered here today. Every Independence Day, we come together and celebrate our nation's freedom. It is a story of courage, sacrifice, and hope. History remembers its loudest voice, but today I would like you to introduce you to some of its bravest ones. Every year on Independence Day, we proudly remember the heroes who gave us freedom. And when we hear the word freedom fighter, most of us picture a man. History has quietly trained us to speak names like Mahatma Gandhi, Bhagat Singh, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And rightly so, their courage shaped our nation's destiny. But what if I told you the most remarkable chapters of India's freedom struggle was written by women? Young women who were teachers, young women who were students, young women who were daughters, women who were completely ordinary until history called their names. They did not command armies. Many of them never imagined that their names one day would be remembered in history books. Yet, when their country needed them, they answered with extraordinary courage. So let us meet these six remarkable women from Bengal who embodied the spirit of Young India movement. Basanti Devi, who transformed quiet determination into a mass movement. Pritilota Vadedar, who taught us that dignity is worth fighting for. Kalpana Datta, who proved that perseverance can outlast even the mightiest empire. Veena Das showed that conviction can be more powerful than fear. Matangini Hazra, who carried the tricolor with unwavering courage until her very last breath. Suhasini Ganguly, whose silent sacrifice reminds us that history's greatest hero walked far from the spotlight. Six women, six different journeys, six extraordinary lives, bound together by an unwavering belief that India deserved to be free. Today, the stories are not just like stories, they are reminders that courage never belongs to one gender or one generation. So let us meet these six extraordinary women, not as names in the history lessons, but as young Indians who are dared to believe that one person can change the destiny of a nation. Together they become the heartbeat of Young India movement, a generation of young Indians who believe that freedom is worth every sacrifice. Our first chapter of our journey belongs to a woman who's transformed quiet courage into a movement. Please welcome Aditya from grade 4N who brings us the inspiring story of Basanti Devi.
Namaste, Basanti Devi, the woman who awakened a generation at a time when very few women stepped into public life. Basanti Devi chose to step into streets with courage instead of fear. She became one of the leading women of the non-cooperation movement, inspiring thousands of Indians to stand up against British rule. Following Mahatma Gandhi's call, she walked through the streets of Calcutta selling khadi. Her courage even inspired more people to stop buying British goods and support Indian-made products. Instead, when British arrested her in 1921, they hoped to frighten the people. Instead, the people was inspired even more. She never carried a weapon or led an army, yet she awakened the courage of an entire generation. Basanti Devi reminds us that True leadership is not about power. It is about inspiring others for what is right. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Every act of courage begins a choice. Our next storyteller shares the inspiring story of young teacher whose courage challenged an empire. Please welcome here from grade 4N speaking on Pritilota Vadedar.
Namaste, Pritilota Vadedar. A young teacher who refused to look away. Imagine walking past a building every day and seeing a sign that reads, "Dogs and Indians not allowed." Most people would feel hurt, some would feel angry. One young woman decided that she could not simply walk past it. Her name was Pritilota Vadedar, a brilliant student and a school teacher from Chittagong. From Pritilota believed that every Indian deserves dignity and respect. She joined Master Surya Sen's groundbreaking groups, becoming one of the first women taking a part in armed resistance against British rule. In 1932, she led an attack on Pahartali European Club, where the insulting sign was hang at the entrance proudly. Knowing she might be captured, she take a small vial of the cyanide. Pritilota teaches us that every Indian that freedom is not only about breaking chains, it is also about stand up for your dignities even when the cost is everything. Thank you. Jai Hind.
History remembers victories, but it is perseverance that makes them possible. To tell the inspiring, fearless revolutionary who never gave up, please welcome Jaivir from grade 4M speaking on Kalpana Datta.
Namaste. Kalpana Datta, the girl who never stopped believing. Some heroes become famous because of one brave moment. Others become unforgettable because they never stopped believing. Kalpana Datta was one of them. As a young college student, Kalpana dreamed of India, where every citizen could live in freedom. She became the part of Chittagong Armory Raid of 1930, one of the boldest attempts to challenge British rule, while many revolutionaries were captured or lost their lives. Kalpana continued the fight with courage and determination. For months, she stayed hiding, helping the movement everywhere she could. Eventually, the British arrested her and sentenced her to life imprisonment. But even prison could not take her love for her country or her hope for free India. Years later, she walked out of prison and had the rare privilege of seeing India become independent in 1947. She showed the world that courage is not only about one heroic act, it is about standing firm even life becomes difficult. Kalpana Datta reminds us that true heroes are the ones who never fall, but the who never give up. Jai Hind.
Sometimes one courageous voice can echo through the history for generation. Our next storyteller brings the inspiring story of Bina Das. Please welcome Khanak from grade 4M.
Namaste. Vinandas, a bright and fearless college student from Bengal. Imagine attending your school English teacher. Everyone dressed in their best clothes. Teachers are smiling, parents are proud. Suddenly, one student steps forward and changes history. That student was Vinandas, a bright and fearless college student from Bengal. Bina believed that education should not only fill our minds with knowledge, it should also teach us that against stand up against injustice. In 1932, during the convocation ceremony at the University of Calcutta, she attempted a bold attempt to challenge the British governor of Bengal, Sir Stanley Jackson, as a protest against British rule. She arrested immediately and sentenced in 9 years in prison. Even during questioning, Bina refused to apologize for her actions. She believed that a love for one's country was stronger than fear. After India became independent, Bina dedicated her life to social service and continued working welfare of society. Bina thus reminds us that one fearless voice can awaken for the conscience of an entire nation. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Courage does not belong to young alone, it belongs to every heart who refuses to give up. Please welcome Devar from grade 3S who tell the inspiring story of Matangini Hazra.
Namaste. Matangi Naja, the grandmother who walks toward the history. When someone asks you to imagine a hero, you might picture a young soldier or a fearless revolutionary. But what if I tell you that one of India's bravest freedom fighters was a 72 years old grandmother? Her name was Matangini Hajra. People lovingly called her Gandhi Buri, which means old lady Gandhi, because she believed in Mahatma Gandhi's path of peace and non-violence. During the Quit India movement in 1942, she led a peaceful procession of carrying the Indian national flag. When the British police ordered the crowd to stop, Matangini refused to turn back. Even after being shot, she continued walking forward with the tricolors held high, chanting Vande Mataram. She held on to the flag until her very last breath, making sure it never touched the ground. Matangini Hazra teaches us that courage does not depend on age. Whether we are young or old, what truly matters is the strength of our convictions and our love for our country. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Every hero do not stand in the spotlight. Some quietly changes history through their unwavering determination. To conclude our journey, please welcome our final storyteller, Krishita from grade 3T, who will tell the remarkable story of Suhasini Ganguly.
आप सबको हमारा आज का टेक टॉक कैसा लग रहा है? मैं आपको एक क्वेश्चन पूछूं? आपके लिए फ्रीडम का मतलब क्या है? Freedom means people who
for the independence of our country, right? Anyone else? What does freedom mean to you? Wait for. Yes, Charlie?
One man who fight for our India.
Okay. Yes, Andy?
Who represent Suhasini Ganguly, the courage behind the content. Every great movement has its leader, but behind every leader, there are people who make that leadership possible. Suhasini Ganguly is one of those people. While others marched on the street, she worked quietly in the background. Pretending to be an ordinary school teacher, she opened her home to revolutionaries who were hiding from the British. Her home became a place where plans were made, courage was restored, and hope stayed alive. When the British finally arrested her, they demanded answer. Suhasini chose silence. She never betrayed the people she had promised to protect. She reminds us that history is not written only by those who stand in a spotlight. It is also written by those who quietly makes greatness possible. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Before I leave, I would like to imagine something. Imagine these 6 remarkable women walking in a school today. Would they ask you how many marks did you score? Probably not. Would they ask you how many trophies did you won? I don't think so. Perhaps they ask some much simpler what kind of person you are becoming, because that was the dream they fought for. Uh, India, an independent India, India filled with honest people, kind people, responsible people, people who have courage to stand up for what is right even when nobody is watching. Stephen Covey reminds us that our, our habits and our character shapes our future. So this is the greatest lesson these women leave behind. So they didn't wait for the world to change first, and they changed themselves, and in doing so, they changed a nation. So when you walk through the gates of this school, remember history is not waiting for another freedom fighter. History is waiting for another kind leader, honest citizen, and responsible young person. Perhaps someone sitting in this very unit. Thank you. Jai Hind.